Okay, let's see here. Desktop, share. Okay. Whoops, let me get rid of this. Oh, can you see it, Suzette? Okay, I'm trying to get to the,
Yes, we can see it. Hit
yeah, I just want to get,
Yep, there you go.
There you go. Got it to go up. Okay.
Perfect.
So we are going to talk about, it's actually element 10. If you didn't know that, it's element 10 in your actual, let me switch this. There we go. It's an element 10 in your actual book, your actual life book. So if you do struggle with it, just to guide you to go to element 10. Okay, so let's look at this because this is really quite interesting, but some of you may know this, some of you may not have ever thought about anything like this, but according to statistics studies, 60% of human body is water, your brain and your heart, 72, lungs, 83, skin, 64, muscles and kidneys, 79, even bones are watery at 31. So when we think about that, and just think back to before you started program, and maybe have you ever gone a day where you realized I didn't even drink any water today? I mean, think about that and think about how our body depends on water, right? So that's just some things to make you think about those numbers. Let's talk about water functions. Protecting tissues, spinal cord, and joints, right? Those of you that have joint pain when you start, not only does our program have the anti-inflammatory, but as you increase your water intake, you start to get that decreased joint pain. And I can, if you were on Community Monday night, somebody was talking on there about their joint pain. I have a client whose sister with water, she was a hairstylist, and her joint pain was so bad, and increasing that water intake, I mean, she thought, like, to the point where she thought she was going to have surgery, and increasing that water intake helped tremendously. Facilitating the removal of toxins, whether that's through sweating, urinating, having a bowel movement, that helps facilitate the removal of toxins. You guys, I'm a nurse, so I have to go a little deeper into this. But when you think about this, if you think about not urinating frequently, not defecating frequently, where do you think that stuff sits? Right? That stool sits in your bowel. What does that predispose you more to? Colon cancer, infections, diverticulitis, right? So you want that digestive system moving steadily. Helps the kidneys remove waste from the blood, aids in that digestion, as I said, prevents dehydration. Things that you can look at, nobody should be dehydrated if you're following program, but you know, your skin's not going to be as dry. It's not going to, we call it tenting, where you pinch it up and it stays up, sign of dehydration. Tears or dry eyes, even though you can have other reasons for dry eyes, but lack of tears, just an overall feeling of just bleh when you're dehydrated. Helps with optimal brain function, right? Along with the combination of our macronutrients in our program, which decrease that brain fog, unlike other programs you may have been on where the carbohydrates are eliminated. Guess what? You have brain fog. I'm just going to say it. It's called keto brain because you're not getting carbohydrates. We need them. Keeps your cardiovascular system healthy, minimizes fatigue, keeps you from overeating. That's something you may not have been thinking about. You know, many times, and I'm guilty, but many times we feel hungry and we're just thirsty. So when you feel hungry, think about, when did I eat last? What did I eat last? How much did I eat last, right? Whether you're on, I mean, if you're on the 5 and 1, it's pretty cut and dry, but maybe you're in transition, maybe you're maintaining, right? So I'm in maintenance, but you have to think about, okay, wait, I just ate 2 hours ago and I ate this. I can't be that hungry again. Try taking that drink of water. regulating your body temperature, and then of course, helping your metabolism stay well activated along with your macronutrients. Okay, how much water do we need? First of all, what I want to say is there is no way to store water, so you have to replenish it continually. And then, of course, as you know on program, you want to start with that 64 ounces, but if you can increase it, I forget the beautiful lady that spoke that got over her plateau because she increased it. Well, increasing that water helped get her over that plateau. So even working up to half of your body weight in ounces, right? So easy formula to use. Okay, let's look at unhealthy versus healthy hydration. I'm not picking on you, Deborah, but unhealthy fruit juices. You guys, fruit juices, okay, I won't get off on my soapbox, but even my kids know, all growing up, they never got to have full fruit juice. They had to have half water, half juice. But if it's 100% juice, okay, it's still fructose. Fructose, it's not that it's bad for you, but fructose is fruit sugar. So what's going to happen is it's going to make your blood sugar spike and then come back down. So just be careful with fruit juices, water them down if you're at a point where you're, can use fruit juice. I would say, get some orange Mio drops or something, but try to stay away from fruit juices if, you're still on program. Sodas, of course, even diet sodas with all the sodium and the aspartame and what have you, it can cause water retention. I'm not saying that you're well into the program, you're dying for a Coke Zero and you have a Coke Zero, it's going to sabotage you. It's not going to sabotage you. I'm just saying don't make it your daily go-to. Energy drinks, don't get me on my soapbox about energy drinks, because my students that I used to have, they'd come to school every day with them. Terrible. Alcohol, again, couple things here about alcohol that I want to speak to. Not, if it's a wine or a margarita or a pina colada, those things, of course, are high in sugar, right? So that's a given. I mean, we know that. But even other alcohol acts as a diuretic, so it can dehydrate you. So just be very, very careful, very, very selective. And I would say abstain if you absolutely can while on the 5-in-1. Okay, so let's look at healthy. First of all, it's tap water. And I know some of you are going, not my tap water, right? It has to be filtered, making sure that it's healthy tap water, purified water, your bottled water. I know some of you that, I have a daughter, she won't drink bottled water because of the environment and all of that. But, and then a lot of stuff out there with the chemicals or whatever in bottled water. So, but let's just focus on water. And then your tea, and I would say go for your herbal teas that are decaffeinated, if you can, right? And then your coffees, the blacker you can drink it, the better. But I know a lot of you on here are coffee drinkers, but you've probably already learned your coffee tricks and what works on program. And if you enjoy coffee that way, hopefully you can continue to enjoy coffee that way with a few alterations. So there's your unhealthy versus healthy hydration. All right, guys, I need my water, help. Here's some secondary choices you can make. If it is difficult for you to drink your water, use the Habits of Health app to remind you when to drink water, okay? Keep a large Yeti or other cup nearby you, right? Keep something by you that some people have those great big gallon things, right? And it says, way to go, you're almost there. All of those little lines of encouragement. I mentioned this, actually, I forgot I had this in here. Use Optavia Purposeful Hydration. That will help some of you, okay? And then queuing. Suzette, if you want to check the chat, and if there's anything I need to respond to with a slide, let me know. And then queuing. So queuing, I talk to a lot of my clients about this, but and you can use this for multiple things. It's anything that's difficult. Queuing is just doing something that reminds you to do something else. So if water is your weakness, okay, I don't know, put a note card on the refrigerator that says water. I need my water. Set your water out by your coffee maker, unless like Jimmy, you have to have it, if you want it ice cold, but still a bottle of water set by your coffee maker, because you're going to go to your coffee, remind you to go to the fridge and get your coffee. But you guys, that can even help with things like your life book. Okay, something you do every week. You go to the bathroom every day, you guys. We don't ask you to read a chapter a day in your life book. But you can read a page. Set yourself up for a page, right? Then you've succeeded. Put it on the back of the toilet. Put it by your coffee maker again. Put it by your bag when you go out the door and you're going to take it because you go on break at work. You can read a page. Whatever works for you, queuing is highly successful until the habit is just the habit. I'm going to look up here at these comments. Okay, before I do that, let me look at this. Help. Yes, I agree. Find what works for you. Room temperature water. Straws. Somebody said straws and then a glass with each fueling. Absolutely. Okay. I just saw some of those chats right there. So let me answer some of those, or let me just speak to some of those. Absolutely. Use straws. If you really have trouble with your water, I do tell all of my clients, until your body craves it, with those first 4 fuelings, have a bottle of water. Number 1, it will help you stay not hungry. Number 2, your body will start to crave it. I know Linda's on here. She may have gotten off because she has to go to a church breakfast, but I know when she, what she does is she won't allow herself to have a cup of coffee until she has drunk one bottle of water. Okay, so that's something you can do. Now, somebody asked about the carbonated waters, like the bubblies and that flavor. I'm not going to say they're not okay. Some people get bloated with carbonated water. If you don't, you can have it, but I always tell my clients, and Suzette can speak to this too, but I always tell my clients, do not replace their water with a bubbly. Okay, make that be an extra something I can have after all my water intake, something to look forward to. All right. And I think that is my last slide. Let me go back to this one then. Okay, so I'm just going to go with, what does this element mean to you? What does it give you the opportunity to reflect on? But then most of all, what actions are you going to take, or do you take already with this particular element? And I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to go back so I can see you all. Let me go to full screen. There we go. So that being said, for some of you, what do you guys do? What did you do in the beginning when water intake was difficult for you, possibly? Did you do anything that you found very successful, that you can share with other people on here that may be having a difficult time with water intake?
Lauren, I know for my husband, when he did program, hated water. He said it tastes like warm spit. So it was really, that was his biggest challenge. So us teaching at the same school, and he was my first client. So, I coached him. I'd take him his fueling and say it was time to eat. But before he could eat, he had to down a glass of water. Yeah. So that is definitely something that helped him. Instead of counting, I did 4 water bottles, which, if it's the average size water bottles, that's your 64 ounces. He would drink 1 glass of water each time it was time to eat a fueling or his lean and green meal. And now he's in the habit of drinking the water. So again, it's creating those habits.
Yes, absolutely. And Rebecca said on here, she drinks a 20-ounce bottle of water with every fueling. And then she only allows herself water with her lean and green. So she automatically knows she has her water in. So she has a lot of extra water in, actually, with that, right? So that's awesome. And then I think Kelly has her hand up, if I'm not mistaken. So come off mute if you meant to have your hand up, Kelly.
I did. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I like the idea of having the water with every fueling. One thing that helped me was I went on Amazon, and I think I just texted you, Lauren, a picture of it, but it's a marked water bottle. It's a 32 ouncer, so it still fits in cup holders and things. But I knew that if I filled that at least twice a day,
Yes.
then I was getting everything I needed.
Awesome. Here it is. This is what it looks like, guys. It's cool colors and everything. I think Jimmy would really like those colors. All right. Thanks, Kelly. That's awesome. Megan. Come.
So this is my water bottle.
Love it.
So
is it a mason jar? Like a mason jar?
It's like a mason jar, and it 32 ounces. I believe it's little marks on the side, but I try and drink 3 of these a day. And I usually am successful in drinking 3 of these a day. So by 10 a.m. I usually have my first one down, and I work from home. So it's easy for me to do this from home. Sorry, I have my settings on blurred. But then when I go out, I take a water bottle that's still 32 ounces, but it fits in my cup holder in my car. But that's my at-home one. And because it has a handle, I take it with me everywhere around the house, and it's got a straw. So it's easy for me to just suck it down. And when I get up, I start sucking it down, but I have to have it cold like Jimmy. So I fill it up to the top, and then I add a little bit of ice in it. And that way I know how to measure it. And so when I'm adding on my Habits of Health app, I can automatically put, okay, I've already had 3 glasses of water for the day, because I just sucked down half of my jar. So usually by 4 p.m. I've already got 90 ounces in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Megan is new to program, so she's rocking it. She is new to program and doing well. Okay, we've got another. Suzette is somebody with, it says iPhone, and I can't recognize who it is.
I think it might be me, Lauren.
It is you. I can't see.
Okay.
So.
Sorry, I'm on my way home from work. So I do the same one with that has like the times on it. I got it from my mom when she started, because water was a really big concern for her, and she loves it. It really helps her stay on track. So if she gets busy, she can look to see what time it is and know she needs to drink water. And then I got one too, because I get the same way. I get distracted, stuff starts happening. So it really just helps me stay on track, know when I really need to drink more water and whatnot. But I think it's funny that we're talking about water, because I just had to get a drug test for a new job, and I got an email saying that my urine was too diluted because I drank too much water. So I had to go retake it. So I was actually kind of proud of myself. I was like, well, I know I did good on my water that.
Jennifer, I recognize your voice. That's awesome. She's going home after a long night, I'm sure, of nursing. Gonna go home and go to sleep. Awesome. Somebody else had their hand up, I thought. If so, just come off mute. There's not enough of us to interrupt each other. You don't have to raise your hand. Just come off mute and talk if you want.
Hi, Lauren. This is Teresa.
Oh, now I can see you. It's kind of dark behind.
I know. Well, it's early and
yeah, not a lot of sunshine.
I was a water drinker before I started program, but and I have probably 32 ounces down before 6 a.m. And honestly, I don't know how much water I drink because I have at work, I have a Hawaii cup. That's kind of my thing. I don't know, kind of inspires me.
Yeah.
But maybe for those that are having trouble, I think the flavorings might help them get going, and then it will just become automatic.
Yeah.
I crave water. It's not a problem for me, luckily, but I definitely crave it. And it helps me throughout the day too. I notice if I
Absolutely.
don't, it's a big deal if I don't.
Right. You can get
Yeah.
headaches, your mental
Yeah.
fog, everything, fatigue. If you
Right.
drink water, get up and get in motion for a second, sit back down at your desk. Makes a
Right.
huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Teresa, I want to speak to something you just said, and thank you for sharing. She said she uses her Hawaii cup because it is her thing, right? So that just gave me an idea. But if you have a cup that, number one, either motivates you, or maybe if Hawaii is a dream, I want to go to Hawaii and I want to be in the best health of my life when I go there, right? Pick out that cup and drink out of that cup. And every time you look at that cup, it will be a reminder of this is one of my reasons that I'm doing this. I want to get my health in order so that I can go to Hawaii feeling great, or whatever it is. That's a great idea. I love it. I love it. Thanks. Anyone else? No more chats. All right.